Discord members on point. Sparky sends us a message right over here saying FINRA has recognized MMTLP and the dividend. Okay, so let's go ahead and find out what's going to happen within the price action of MMAT in particular. What is up, you guys? This is ARCa coming at you with an MMAT technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCab. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. We are looking at MMAT on the 8-hour chart here, and I would like to point out a few things here. We were in an ascending channel that we actually caught from I don't know, weeks ago. This is actually an old chart that we're looking at, and we still have the gap that we had from the closing of this, from the wick high of this candle here and the wick low of this candle here. So that gap, as you can see, has been used now as a form of support, which is something that I usually talk about within this channel, of leaving my gaps in for future play. So that gap range was between $1.68 and $1.76. As you can see, per the playbook rules of an ascending channel, the the test of number 3 usually signals a short position opening so that you can be able to write it down past the support range of the ascending channel. In this case, you can see that we have never actually came back to retest the newly converted support into now resistance. So this is actually a little bit of a warning shot, but I'm catching massive bullish signals, and I will go over all of those signals as I'm partially not believing that this is a test of the resistance here. So I do believe that, in short, I do believe that we can actually reclaim the channel and attempt a rare breakout out of an ascending channel on number 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over those details just now. But before we go into the next chart, please do notice that we do have the 50-day simple moving average as a form of support, and have since converted the SMA 10 as a form of support as well. And this is now a good area for us to use in case of a drawback. In this case, now we have now moved above the NOT 618 at $2.03, which means that now we have this and the golden pocket, which is located between the NOT 382 and the NOT 618 as a form of support. So these things are looking pretty good for MMAT in the interim. Okay, now we are looking at volatility here. New viewers, new listeners, please gander at this. This is volatility you're looking at, represented by BBWP, the indicator my mouse is pointing at. Volatility is direction neutral. In order for us to gain a bias for direction, we actually can pair it with an indicator similar to this one here, which is stochastic momentum. It is proprietary to TradingView software. If you'd like to trade with TradingView like I do, please refer to the link in the description below, as I do believe you get $30 upon sign up. But yeah, just check those details out. As you can see here, we have touched the critical volatility loading zone, which is usually located at about the 10th percentile in shorter term time frames. So we are looking at now a cross of the moving average. This is this spectrum line here is the volatility component of BBWP, and the moving average is this white line right over here. And as you can see, they're both pivoted towards the upside alongside our stochastic momentum oscillator, suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. So this is also another confirmation that this expansion phase may actually be leading to the upside. The reason why I can't tell you with more certainty is because of this sudden move that just happened today. I have not backtested volatility versus momentum, particularly from the contraction phase. Okay, so this would be another test to run to backtest in the 8-hour chart throughout the entire trading history of MMAT, of which I may actually do tonight, but it does take time to run that back test. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. So now this is another formation that we were building that led me to believe that this may be a test of a resistance, but it may not. Now, the reason why I say that is because usually when we break out of a right angle triangle or a descending triangle, if you will, to the downside targets are usually pretty substantial. So we can actually take a trend line from the hypotenuse of the triangle, which is located right up here at the top. This is the hypotenuse, and you would take it to the lowest point of the triangle, and we get a price objective both to the upside and to the downside, since the playbook rules for a right angle triangle are both bearish and bullish depending on the breakout. So first, the bullish side, the price objective is leading us to imply actually would be $2.33. Now to the bear side, let's see, it would have been let's see, about $1.37, which let's see, $1.37 would be right down here. Okay, all right, that was just for my notes. It would be around this area here for support. But we did, it looks like we did reclaim the formation and now are breaking out towards the top. Usually, okay, so usually I give you the golden rule of three, which requires 3 tests of the resistance and a true breakout on attempt number 4. In this case, we are breaking out on attempt number 5. If you guys would like to take a note of this, usually, occasionally the 4th test failure can lead into a 5th test success in formations like these, and a descending channel and also a descending broadening wedge. Okay, so those are just a couple things that you can look at too. Falling wedges can also apply for that. And yeah, now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. Actually, before we do that, know that the $2.33 zone that it is implying has lots of confluence here. So you can see this candle right here, using it as a form of resistance before a continuation down. This is entirely a range around that. Right here, a huge resistance here, many supports right there, support here, resistance. So this is likely an area of inflection. So we would definitely have to penetrate this area in order for an upside continuation. We would definitely need to make this a support. We need to convert this resistance into then a support before a continuation onto the upside. Since there is a psychological component applied to MMAT now due to the FINRA release, we may actually just bypass all the playbook rules and just head on to the top. Now, this is the RSI divergences that I'm looking at here. So I have this diagram up here for you to be able to tag along with me. So now in this particular case, what we're looking at is price action making higher lows and the RSI making lower lows. When you have this divergence in play, that usually is a drive of bullish hidden divergence. So we have two drives. Let's see, actually, this larger drive is actually going to be a drive of phantom hidden bullish divergence, and these are 2 regular drives of hidden bullish divergence, of which are now at play. So these are fresh. These are very fresh, so which means that there's potentially more upside for MMAT. So now let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane so that we can gauge a deeper bias for that direction, at least in the short term. Or yeah, let's open up the 30-minute time frame so we can start. Yeah, okay, so for the new viewers, new listeners, I do have, let's get rid of Discord for now, and I do have a diagram here for you guys. Now, these are the RSI properties. These 4 zones are actually these 4 zones right over here for you to tag along. Let's go ahead and I just close this up and continue our analysis. So we're going to look at... Let's make this larger too. Yeah, we're gonna do a few time frames so that we can see just how much of an edge we have over tomorrow's trade. As I expect high volatility. This is gonna be dangerous. Please make sure to watch your longs, watch your short positions if you're shorting this, which I wouldn't suggest at this point. But know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. I need you to do your own DD, and we'll be okay. Okay, you guys. All right. So let's go ahead and start this. So the immediate short-term time frame is indicating a continuation to the upside, and it is in the overbought area. So, but as you can see, there are prior iterations to where, I mean, it shows us that we still have massive upside to go. So this is likely going to start an upside move, probably from the early pre-market. session. So now the bi-hourly, let's go ahead and switch it into the bi-hourly. The bi-hourly has now entered the bull strength percentile, and it is well within the grips of the bull strength. Now, the moving average represented by this pink line is now giving us a hint that it is an upside continuation. Now, let's go ahead and move into the 6-hour RSI and see what it's got. Okay, so 6-hour RSI at the junction between between bull weakness and bull strength. This usually means that the upside is highly likely, and the moving average is now suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. This is now leading me to believe that we have upside going all the way up to the mid-session tomorrow. Now let's look at the daily, since we already saw the divergent drives in the 12-hour chart. So the daily chart is suggesting a pretty aggressive upside, and it is right in the deep areas of the bull weakness percentile, which likely means we're going to be gravitated into bull strength. We do have the moving average here, of which looks like to be primed for a bullish cross. The moving average is a 14-day period per any regular RSI setup. Okay, now just for giggles, let's look at the bi-daily. Bi-daily still suggesting upside, and it is well within the grips of the bull strength percentile, so this can likely be a multi-day upside move. The 3-day RSI is very much in the grips of the bull strength percentile. Moving average already about to cross into bull strength. Yeah, this is leading me to believe that there is absolutely going to be a multi-day of upside for MMAT. So starting almost immediately at the early pre-market. Now let's see if there's any downside to this, any potential downside. So what we're going to use right now are the Crypstex ARC-Series indicators. So ARC-Series meaning that they're named after me, and Crypstex Trading has since partnered with me, or endorsed me, if you will, and they have given me access into some very intricate and very cool indicators that give us actually long signals and short signals, or buy or sell signals, if you will. So let's go ahead and just close out Armor first, because this is a new one that I wanted to show you guys that could be included in the package for the 8 indicators total. So this is called the ARC DBSI. Now the DBSI indicator actually measures a short-term and longer-term 13-day exponential moving average, and measures every single candle so that we can be able to gauge whether the bulls are in strength or the bears are in strength. So usually when we have the 13-day moving average represented by this yellow line, when we're above that, per the DBSI, bulls are in total control. And also when we do get a blue signal like this, that usually gives us a buy signal. So when we got that little blue arrow, it was down here. So DBSI flashed that bull signal, and then it rocket shipped to the top without knowing anything of FINRA, which is incredible. So this is, I assume that this is using some type of statistical data or historical data, so that we can be able to see the future in a shorter term forecast. So as well, right up here, you can actually see the score of the bulls versus the bears. The bulls are absolutely in control, and we are not slowing down just yet. This 1 hourly candle right here, as you can see, has not returned anything from which it has gained, which is also a very interesting thing here, that we are in a upside continuation. Now, this is the ARC Whale Spotter, which has a money flow index, and you can see that the money flow index printing this light blue shadow is meaning that there's a lot of money coming in. Now, this particular green line right down here is the signal for a bullish divergence, which we actually identified in our charts before in the RSI. So this automatically gave us a bullish divergence in the hourly chart, and gave us this buy signal right at this area, which was just slightly earlier than the DBSI. Now let's look at the Armor to see if we got a buy signal in that as well. And let me go ahead and close out DBSI now. Okay, so Armor definitely gave us a long signal right down here, but how close was it? Let's look at the 30-minute and see if it's All right, and I'm sorry, let me get rid of the DBSI I said. Okay, now actually let's go closer. Let's go 15 minutes. Let's just see where it gave us the buy signal. Okay, so the Arc Armor gave us the signal right over here. So, oh man, and it hasn't printed any short position just yet, or any short or downside just yet. So definitely this came in very early. If we were to trust the Arc indicator, the Arc Armor indicator, and the DBSI and the whale spotter, we would have caught entry right down here for a massive move to the upside, of which does not look like it's slowing down just yet. Please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show as a form of entertainment, okay? All right, so this is making me feel that I am potentially going to put up a play in the strategies play in the Discord, which is the links are in the description below for you to consider joining. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video, but I definitely see absolutely more upside coming on to to MMAT, and a likely first stop. Well, I mean, gauging this Fibonacci retracement, we actually already used the 3.618 as a form of resistance before coming back down and finding support from the 2.618 for a continuation onto the upside. We can see a potential resistance range first between the 4.618 and our implied projected target based on the triangle formation. This is going to be the first area of resistance. We can see 223 to 233. So this 10-cent area could be a likely area for reaccumulation, in which we can touch and come back into retesting the 3.618 as a form of support before a continuation onto the upside. That is, if we're playing by the book and not by FOMO and not by psychological component implementations. Okay, so this is something you must know. So I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me within Discord or Twitter. Okay, so I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCap trading community in Discord too. Okay, but with that said, I wish you well. I wish you a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.